Ravenswood. A quaint town nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows. It was a place that seemed to exist outside of time, where the past and present intertwined in a delicate dance. Its name, once a whimsical charm, now held an undercurrent of unease. The townsfolk spoke of it in hushed tones as if afraid to awaken the spirits that lingered. The summer brought warmth, but a chill lingered in the air, a ghostly residue of the past. It was as if the very air carried the weight of forgotten sorrows and unspoken fears. Days were long and sun-drenched, filled with the laughter of children playing in the park. Their joy was infectious, a brief respite from the town's heavy atmosphere. But as twilight descended, shadows stretched and the laughter faded. The once vibrant park became a place of eerie silence, where even the bravest children dared not linger. Ravenswood held its breath, the townsfolk retreating indoors, haunted by the whispers of a tragedy that had shaken them to their core. Doors were locked and windows shuttered as if to keep the darkness at bay. The heart of Ravenswood was its park, a sprawling expanse of green dotted with ancient oak trees. These trees had stood for centuries, silent witnesses to the town's secrets and sorrows. But even on the sunniest days, a sense of melancholy hung heavy beneath the canopy. The rustling leaves seemed to whisper tales of lost souls and broken dreams. It was here, amongst the swings and slides, that the laughter had abruptly ceased. The echoes of joy were replaced by an unsettling stillness, a reminder of what had been lost. For Ravenswood held a secret, a tragedy whispered in hushed tones. It was a story that everyone knew but no one dared to speak aloud, a dark chapter in the town's history. It was a place where the past refused to stay buried, where the echoes of vanished laughter sent shivers down your spine. The very ground seemed to hum with the memories of those who had walked it before, leaving an indelible mark on the soul of Ravenswood. It was a summer solstice celebration, a night alive with music, laughter, and the vibrant energy of a community coming together. Children, adorned with flower crowns, danced beneath the paper lanterns strung across the park, their giggles and shouts of joy filling the air. Then, as quickly as it began, the laughter died. Panic seized the townsfolk, their joyous celebration turning into a nightmare. Lanterns swayed frantically, casting eerie shadows as parents desperately searched for their missing children, their voices echoing in the night. But the night swallowed their pleas, leaving only an eerie silence that seemed to stretch on forever. Days turned into weeks, the search parties dwindling, hope fading with each passing hour. The once vibrant community was now shrouded in despair. The park, once a symbol of joy and togetherness, became a haunted ground, echoing with the unspoken grief of a town forever scarred by the tragedy. The mystery of the missing children lingered, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lay beneath Ravenswood's idyllic facade. Posters of the missing children fluttered in the wind, a constant reminder of the town's loss. Whispers of a curse began to circulate, tales of a malevolent entity that haunted the woods beyond the town. The once dismissed legends now seemed all too real. The townsfolk, once a tight-knit community, now eyed each other with suspicion, their hearts heavy with unspoken grief and a growing sense of dread. The bonds that once held them together were fraying, torn apart by the weight of their shared tragedy and the fear of the unknown. Years passed, and the once vibrant town of Ravenswood became a ghostly echo of its former self. The tragedy of Ravenswood faded into a chilling legend, a story whispered to wide-eyed children around campfires and in hushed tones at bedtime. I arrived on a crisp autumn day, drawn by the town's alluring charm and the promise of a fresh start. The air was filled with the scent of fallen leaves and the distant sound of crows cawing. The realtor, a kindly old woman with a knowing smile, handed me the keys. Her eyes twinkled with a mix of curiosity and something else I couldn't quite place. "Welcome to Ravenswood," she chirped, her voice a touch too high, a touch too rehearsed. It was as if she had said these words 1,000 times before, each time with a little less sincerity. "You'll find peace and quiet here," she assured me, though her words seemed to hang in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. Her eyes, however, held a flicker of something else. Was it fear, or perhaps a hint of regret, a warning, or perhaps a plea? I couldn't be sure, but the unease was palpable. I brushed it off, attributing it to small-town eccentricities. After all, every town has its quirks and secrets. The house, perched on a hill overlooking the town, was more than I could have hoped for. It stood tall and proud, a silent guardian of Ravenswood's mysteries. Its windows, like watchful eyes, offered a panoramic view of Ravenswood, its beauty both alluring and unsettling. The sunset cast long shadows, making the house seem alive, almost sentient. As I unpacked, a strange sense of unease washed over me. The walls seemed to close in, and the air grew colder, as if the house itself was watching. The silence was heavy, broken only by the distant chirping of crickets. Each sound seemed amplified, echoing through the empty rooms. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, my every move scrutinized by unseen eyes. It was as if the house had a life of its own, a silent observer of my every action.